right, 21 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. You know, I don't drink instant iced tea much anymore. But I used to drink instant iced tea. And you know what instant iced tea comes in? It comes in a jar.
Yes,
and I have one of those jars up in my closet. And I've been putting change in there every time I have change in my pocket. And you know what I use it for, Robin? For my fun time. It's fun money. It's like Monopoly money. It's like I pretend it's not really money. Mm-hmm. And then when I go do something fun, I take that jar with me. And sometimes there could be $30, $40 in there. It's not, I mean, that doesn't sound like much. But, you know, when you go to Disney World, for example, you know, you spend your real money on the tickets. Yeah. You know, and then you say, well, what about the fun stuff? What about what about the souvenirs? What about the too high cost food, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, you got $40, $50 in your pocket from your iced tea jar.
Yeah, it makes out nice.
Justine Santaniello has been with us before, correct?
Yes.
She's a lifestyle and trends expert, a contributor to Good Day New York. The city's so nice, they named it twice. Fox Business, Yahoo, The Wendy Williams Show, and she's on our little show to talk to us about tips for achieving getaway goals on a budget. I don't know if saving money in a tea jar is going to help, but it's kind of my way of having. Yeah. Justine, good morning, Justine. Thank you for being on our show.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. And I am so glad that you mentioned that because my family does the exact same thing. We keep a coin jar in the house. We all contribute to it, and we use ours towards our vacation, like what you said, the fun money, once we're on our trip.
Yeah, because you're putting money away for the trip itself, and then we say, well, what about like if we want peanut brittle? You know.
Yeah, right.
There's always peanut brittles on somebody's vacation, right?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
No, you're so right, and that's also a tip that I like to give people, which is develop a spending plan where you're allocating your funds not just for the big stuff like the hotels and the planes, but also for those little things like souvenirs and park admission and meals. You know, you really need to think about everything that's going to go into your trip so you truly know what your budget is.
Yeah. When Robin goes away, she always brings me back a souvenir. And so last year I went to New York and I said, I got to bring Robin a souvenir.
Yeah, you did.
And right in the hotel, they had a souvenir shop. Who would have thought?
Good planning.
That was so nice of you.
Are you in New York right now?
I am in New York, yes.
So last time you were on, you were telling us about, let's see, we have, what do they call those machines, Robin, where you put the coins in?
I don't know. I just call them the change machine.
What are they called?
The Coinstar kiosk.
Coinstar, yes.
That's it.
Okay, so we have them here in Ocala because that's what I do normally. I'll take the change and dump it in that thing, and then it gives me the receipt, and I get the cash. But there was another one you could change them in for tickets or something. What was the other one? The red one.
Yes, you can change them in for no fee. So there's no fee involved. You can get e-gift cards.
Oh, gift cards, right.
You can do that as well. So there are two different kiosks. But I think when it comes to, vacation and vacation budgeting and what you're going to spend, I think that those Coinstar kiosks where you can convert your coins into cash is really key because then you can take that cash and add it towards your vacation budget. So if you guys go to Coinstar.com, you'll find a kiosk near you, and you're right. They're all over. 90% of us live within 5 miles of a kiosk. And it's always very interesting when you talk to people. They always say that they ended up having more than they thought when they converted their coins into cash.
Yes, that happens to me every single time. Do you know, I had a nephew who moved to New York. He moved from Florida to New York. And before
with his son.
With his son. And before he left, I gave him my jar. It was a different jar than the one I have now. And I mean, it was filled. I think it had $150 in it, didn't it, Robert?
Yeah, it was huge.
Wow.
Huge amount.
Yeah, I mean, it was awesome because I put cash in there too. But I mean, the coins themselves added up to $150.
That's amazing. And think about that. That can go a long way on your family vacation. It's all about finding these hidden funds, as I like to call them, to contribute to your family vacation. So you're cashing in your coins. That's a great option. You could also look around your home and say, what am I not using here? What don't I really need anymore? And sell that stuff. You could do an old-fashioned garage sale with the kids on a weekend, but you can also use so many amazing apps now like Let Go and OfferUp to sell your stuff. You can also cash in on your credit card rewards and points. So there are a bunch of different options for these quote-unquote hidden funds to help contribute towards your vacation budget.
You have a website called justhaves.com, and I know you talk about more than just the kiosks to turn change into dollars. What else do you talk about on your website?
So it's truly a lifestyle destination. I am a TV personality, but I also am out there talking to real people and doing consumer product reviews. We have a blog on the site, and we let a lot of different people contribute to that. There are links there to my television segments and also to just my work in the past. So it's really a landing page.
So do you think if we ever go to a cashless society, I mean, how would we be saving money in a jar? I don't know if this is ever going to happen, but it's something you hear people talk about now and then.
Sure. I think that we're a little bit of a ways away, though, from that. And what I think about coins is that people get them as change from when they're paying for something, and they don't want to walk around with them. You know, they don't want to keep them in their wallet anymore, but you're not going to obviously just throw it away. It's money. So by keeping a designated place in your car or in your home or at your office where you let the coins build up, then you can turn them into cash. And we all know that cash then is usable.
My father one time said that if I see a penny, it means I'm doing the right thing. Do you know how many times I see pennies? I always think, am I supposed to pick it up?
Yeah, are you?
Or does it break the spell if I pick it up? I don't know. I would probably have an extra $50 a year.
It just shows you that people are, they're disregarding their coins because they don't think that it's worth anything to them. But that's truly not the case. 71% of people say that they save their coins for future use, and that can be used towards your family vacation this summer, because in the Coinstar survey, they surveyed over 2,000 people. They found that U.S. parents, they're spending cautiously on their summer vacations, and that budget really is a concern.
And that also trickles down to the children, because children get allowances. They get coins for missing teeth, doing good things and stuff, and they should have a special place also, just their very own.
Yes, I agree. And, depending on how old your kids are, maybe they have jobs, let's say, maybe you want them to contribute to a weekly vacation fund that everyone in the family is contributing to. And obviously, you can decide what's right for you and your family on how much you want them to contribute, even if it is a few coins.
Oh, and
every little bit counts.
Let me just add one little PS before you say goodbye. Robin and I work to help in our little way, nonprofits in our community. And sometimes we'll play music on the streets, and people will throw coins into the music cases, the instrument cases. And so when you take that and you put it into one of those machines, suddenly you have a nice contribution you can make to the nonprofit, and it's not just pennies. It's usually it's usually $50, $100. It depends. Justine, thank you for being on the air with us. Go to the kiosk and get your coins made into dollars. And what's a good website to send us to?
You guys could go to my site, justhaves.com, or you could go to coinstar.com to find a kiosk near you.
All right, and I know everybody knows where they are because we all use them. Justine, thank you for being on. I know you got a busy morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The president tweeting he has the absolute right to share information with Russia in the face of criticism, including from members of his own party, after a report from the Washington Post claiming he revealed classified information.
Senate Foreign Relations Chairman Bob Corker of Tennessee is calling these reports very, very troubling if true. Corker says the Trump White House has got to do something to bring itself under control.
Fox's Mike Emanuel, comedian Bill Cosby speaking out the month before going on trial for aggravated indecent assault. Fox Radio's Tanya J. Power says he told
SiriusXM's The Michael Smerconish program they were piling on, and he called it a ploy.
It's certainly an impressive way to get public opinion.
And Roger Federer voluntarily skipping the French Open, the 35-year-old saying it'll give him the best chance to extend his career. Fox News, we report, you decide.
You're listening to Love Advice with Leanne. Caller, you're on the air.
Hi, Leanne. Longtime listener, first-time caller. Why, in your professional opinion, do you never take my calls off the air?
Is this Carl?
Yep, it's Carl. I mean, we had a few dates. Everything was great. I thought,
Well, when you switch to Geico, you could save a lot of money on car insurance.
Okay, awesome.
You should call them.
I will.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always the great answer.
There are two things every parent wants when their child goes to college. For their child to do well and a way to afford it. Now, with Discover Student Loans, parents can have the best of both worlds. Not only do our loans cover up to 100% of school-certified costs with zero fees, but we'll give them a cash reward for each new student loan if they earn at least a 3.0 GPA or equivalent. That means every A in history or B in math could help them earn a cash reward for good grades. Just one of the many ways we treat you like you'd treat you. Apply now in 15 minutes or less at discoverstudentloans.com. Limitations apply. The Ad Council.
We all know the importance of good health, but we may not know the latest advances in medicine that are available to us. Monday at 9 a.m., Bern Paraiso will be our roving medical reporter to tell us about Seven Hill Gastroenterology PA and Dr. Reddy. We'll discuss screening, techniques, and more. So tune in and listen. This is more than news you can use. It's news that could save your life. That's Monday at 9:05 a.m. Here are today's headlines from the source WOCA. A vehicle that was reported stolen last month in Marion County was recovered on Friday after a deputy noticed it parked at the agency's headquarters. According to a post on the Marion County Sheriff's Office Facebook page, a male victim from the Villages had both of his vehicles stolen by two female acquaintances. 36-year-old Heather Nicole Strawway was arrested in Orange County on April 20th, and one of the victim's vehicles was recovered. Marion County detectives then began looking for 28-year-old Tiffany Marie Moore and the vehicle she allegedly stole from the victim. Moore was located April 30th and arrested on a grand theft auto charge, but the victim's vehicle was never located. Detectives searched for the vehicle for several weeks until Friday. That's when Sergeant Bobby LeVay was leaving the Marion County Sheriff's Office Central Operations Building when he saw the stolen vehicle drive right past him and park in front of the Sheriff's Office. LeVay conducted a traffic stop and found out Moore traded the victim's vehicle for drugs before she was arrested. The vehicle was returned to the owner. SpaceX launched one of its heaviest payloads into orbit last night. A Falcon 9 rocket delivered a large communications satellite into orbit for London-based Inmarsat, the company's first launch with SpaceX. The payload is the Inmarsat 5F4, which is expected to improve high-speed broadband connectivity across the world, helping users access the internet on land, sea, and air. The satellite, taller than a double-decker bus, weighs more than 13,000 pounds. The rocket had to deliver the satellite to geostationary orbit more than 22,000 miles up. Because of that, SpaceX did not attempt to recover the first stage booster on land or on ship in the Atlantic Ocean. The Falcon 9 took off from the Kennedy Space Center's Launch Complex 39A right at the beginning of the launch window at 7:21 p.m. last night. Beloved Miami attorney Lee Weisenborn has died at the age of 88. Weisenborn served in the state legislature in the 1960s and early 1970s. The Miami attorney was so repulsed by segregation in Tallahassee that in 1967 he filed a bill to relocate state government to Orlando. The bill failed, but the controversy helped to force Tallahassee's lawmakers to accept changes that were happening across the country during the civil rights era. After leaving politics, Weisenborn focused on his law practice, where he is being remembered as the attorney who loved to fight for the underdog. The Star Banner is reporting that a portion of Winding Oaks Farm might become a 24,000 square foot Jaguar Land Rover dealership. It would be sited on 4.38 acres of the 5800 block of Southwest State Road 200. The report states that much of the farm will continue to be a horse farm, but the stretch of land fronting State Road 200 will become commercial property. Recently, the 1,000-acre farm was annexed into the city limits. State officials say 170,000 acres in Florida have burned from wildfires since the start of the year. Florida Agriculture Commissioner Adam Putnam said that more than 127 active fires were burning in Florida as of yesterday. Since the start of 2017, there have been more than 2,100 wildfires in the state. Putnam says drought conditions and high wildfire danger will continue for some time, since May is traditionally one of the driest months of the year here in Florida. The first 4 months of 2017 were the hottest in 122 years for Florida and much of the Southeast, continuing a streak of sizzling temperatures that are forecast to run high through summer. Florida's average temperature January through April was 66.6 degrees, a hefty 4 degrees above the 20th century normal level, according to a report from the National Centers for Environmental Information. The state simmered from the Panhandle through Central Florida with temperatures that broke heat records dating back to 1895. 85. And those are the headlines from the source WOCA 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. Mostly sunny for this Tuesday. Breezy in the afternoon, high 84 at the coast, 92 inland. Clear Tuesday night, low 67 inland, 76 along the coast. For Wednesday, partly sunny and becoming breezy, high 85 on the coast, 92 inland. Thursday, partly sunny, breezy in the afternoon, high 83 on the coast, 91 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Animas Foundation is the name of the Ocala-based nonprofit sanctuary dedicated to the rescue and rehabilitation of wild and domestic animals. Animas, plainly stated, needs your 100% tax-deductible donation, which will go directly to animal care. This sanctuary is run solely on donations. There are so many questions to answer. Please call 843-6379, and they will explain to you how these creatures that live among us are cared for. Please call 843-6379. Thank you.
It's time for Farm and Ranch Headlines on the Southeast AgNet. I'm Darren Spearman reporting. USDA's Foreign Agricultural Service has announced the export of peanuts from August through March of this year, and they are up 9.6%. The shipments all overseas shows another strong month, especially for raw shell peanuts coming out of last year's crop. That is up 18.5%. Raw shell shipments increased to the top 5 buyers across the country. The raw shell peanut top buyers were Canada, followed by Mexico, then the Netherlands, the United Kingdom, and then Japan. Those are your top 5 for raw shell. On in-shell peanuts, they're down about 9%, but they are showing the top buyer for the year was China, followed by Germany, then Vietnam. Most of those will be going into the Chinese market. Then the Netherlands and Canada. Peanut butter shipments overseas now is down 7.8%. Still the number 1 buyer is Canada, followed by Germany, Mexico, Nigeria, and Japan. But overall, the peanut butter exports are slightly down 7.8%. The Foreign Agricultural Service also announced last week that they expect U.S. exports this year to stay unchanged from last year at about 635,000 metric tons. That's about 23 to 25% of the total crop moving out of the U.S. to overseas markets. The interesting point right now is what is going to happen in Argentina. Argentina is harvesting their peanut crop at this time, and exports are expected to be down, according to USDA, 20,000 tons to 880,000 tons. But one official said this week they believed it will be under 800,000 tons because of the increased rains that they've received over the past few weeks. India's exports are supposed to be up 100,000 tons, and that could change some shipments of oil, peanuts from the U.S. to the Chinese market for making peanut oil. I'm Tyron Spearman for Southeast AgNet.
Hi, Jan. When you were here last week, you were so busy. Have things slowed down at Palm Garden?
Oh, no. Mother's Day is on Sunday, May 14, and we are having a special brunch and a tea. Mother's Day begins the celebration of National Nursing Home Week, and during this week, we have lots of special events. For example, on Wednesday, we're going to have a great big barbecue. So let me get back to helping more guests the Palm Garden way.
Palm Garden is located on the corner of Southwest 27th Avenue and 34th Street.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.